Good morning and welcome to Morning Brew. Yes, I forgot to set things up last night, so uh, I don't know. Anyhow, um, yeah, it's Saturday morning. Wonderful day. Should be quieter and yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, good morning, Ken Jack Ben, and yeah, it's yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to send out some messages today. I've not done that in a while because yeah, I really needed to. Uh, and there we go. That's one, probably the most important one. But anyhow, save another just in case. They'll be able to show up, but just in case. Um, so anyhow, what's going on this morning? And good morning, Resolute Germ. It's been an interesting night, I'll say. Didn't exactly sleep great, so yeah, I may be caffeinated most of the day, more than usual actually. Just so that I'm able to stay awake. Because if you were to ask me now, I'd go to bed now, and that would really fuck up my schedule. Uh, and good morning, Mar. Well, unfortunately, I don't know. That's all I can say. Uh, can Jack Ben wants to use the Unreal Engine 5? Okay, good. I don't know what the hell it is. I've heard of it, but don't know what the hell it is. The name's familiar. What the hell it is, I don't know. Don't care. So I'll just put it this way. I'm going to have to watch what I say today. At this point, I really don't give a shit. And good morning, Rabbit Hole Clicker. I think got somebody backstage. And good morning, Mar, or good afternoon, Mar.
Good morning, everyone.
So what's going on?
The usual, I would say. My nephew wasn't here today, so I have my PC all to myself.
Cool.
but I have to wait for the food order.
Ah,
That should take about 30 to 45 minutes before I have to jump there. And I wanted to see what you are doing, what you was up to today, what we talking about.
oh, oh God. What are we talking about today? Um, I had some crappy night last night. Um, let's talk about, oh, let's talk about what everybody does planned for the weekend.
Hmm. Okay, what could we talk about? I wish, I wish that would be better with choosing something to talk about. Uh,
No, it's, I tried a new medication. I don't know if that works, but obviously bedtime is not the right time to take it because I didn't sleep well, and now I can sleep
Shang-Chi.
right now.
Some people told me that Shang-Chi shouldn't be so bad, and this morning, after Cards Against Humanity, I wanted to watch it, but apparently, for some reason, the beginning of it is pretty much in Chinese language, and I only got the Italian subtitles, so that was not really going to happen.
Well, it looks like you're having fun this morning or this afternoon. Sorry, I need more coffee.
Yeah, me too. But that's why I'm waiting for the food delivery to get over here, because I do not get coffee at the moment because I have no milk, and my dad is shopping at the moment. So I hope I get milk soon.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Technically, I've actually had 1.5 cups of coffee already. Uh, Part of it,
Yeah, I needed all the coffee I could get yesterday.
part of it was cold coffee, which I'd actually accidentally left in the freezer. But because I had not filled it, I put some hot coffee in, and it was slushy liquid. So I had a hot coffee and a cold coffee, and I need to have another hot coffee. Uh, and that may be my day-to-day drinking coffee. Okay, Italian. What were you watching that on? Well, there are different services available in Germany than are here. So
Well, that's the question. I still don't know if it is crap or not because I couldn't watch it yet. Because I actually like to brag with me speaking 50 languages and everything. But to be fair and square, I haven't spoken Italian since I'm 6 years old. So I'm a little bit rusty, to say the least.
Yeah. And good morning, Darth Astor.
I mean, I
All
still
right.
speak enough that I can make out when it is Italian or if it is Spanish. So,
What's going on this morning, Darth Astor? And good morning, Dave.
and at the moment I'm watching on Netflix House of Money, I think is the English title.
Okay. I'll have to. Don't know of it, so how is it?
Well, it's pretty interesting. As far as I know, it's Spanish, and it's about a coup that, or a group that tries to get into the hardest banks and rob them.
Oh,
And
lovely.
so, in the first two seasons, they got into the first bank. They are now in the second bank, and it's getting a little bit hardcore sidewards. So, because the police can't stop them, they now have activated the military to get them out there.
Ah. So what's going on, everyone? It's Saturday. Hey. Well, so far it sounds like an interesting series.
Oh, it is. Definitely.
So let's see here. I assume that you're going on as usual, resolute term. 10 a.m. your time, whatever the hell time that is. I can't think. Or is that 8 a.m. your time? I don't remember. I don't think all the coffee in the world is going to help right now. But I am going to. Let's see here. I've been working on a couple of things art wise, but that takes time because I'm not actually an artist. So, yeah. it looks far crappier than something that Yitsa would do. Okay, 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, thank God. Okay. Sorry,
Oh,
Resolution. I'm just, that brain is just mush right now.
oh my grandpa used to say no master ever fell from the sky.
Yes?
Then Ryan Johnson came and J.J. Abrams, and they gave us Raid.
Tweet a reminder, however, seeing as I got suspended. How the hell did you get suspended? Oh, for fuck's sake. That just seems wrong. I'm sorry. Ugh. You know.
You cannot just call a retard a retard. You should know better.
I'm an idiot. Not use that other person. Whatever. I'm sorry. This whole time is just shit. Ah. Oh, I see it's raining now. I saw that on my computer. It says raining now. I stepped outside. It's actually right. It is raining now. And kapla bird. What's going on this morning?
A wonderful good morning, bird. He was insinuating that 13 military killed were Americans that were not evacuated yet. Okay, well, you know what? That idiot doesn't necessarily know shit, so. Yeah, this morning on Cards Against Humanity, we had new faces. Saggy Melons joined us.
Cool. I was trying to sleep. I don't even know if I was awake then or not. I just totally forgot about it. Well, no, not true. I kind of remember that I said, nah, suck tonight anyhow. So, who won?
Kyle. He's from Doomsday Network, something like that. Honestly, I forgot his channel name. Shame on me, I know.
Yes, shame on. Shame on you, for that. Everything. Ah. What's going on, Bert? Are you I see feedback back. Okay.
Okay, that sounds really a little bit retarded because the USA is there for 20 years, if not longer.
Mm-hmm.
And for as far as I know, that wasn't the only American soldiers dying there.
Uh, well, we had a high number watching for a little bit. I think the fact that I started off slow kind of bored people, so they left, which is cool. I don't know if anything else is on anyhow. Probably ought to check. Uh, I don't see anything, but hey, what do I know? I really hate the way they've changed how this stupid thing looks. Now, got somebody backstage, so I gotta figure out get there. Shit.
As I'm German and never had to spend time
Oh,
with the American military. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say anything about it, but one of my best friends actually is um, an Afghanistan veteran, and he posted on Facebook that he cannot understand why these soldiers who died just now are so called out for dying there when there was so many who died over there during the last 20 years that no one or
exactly. Good
soldiers
morning, Bert.
died there that no one really cared about.
Hello, world.
Hey, Bird.
405, Kapla. Sorry, late start this morning, Captain. I was doing the setup for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Just forgot what time it was.
Well, no problem.
And who did it?
Spoiler alert. It was the butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If I'm awake, I will watch it with you. I got it. First time watching Roger Rabbit in English, for me at least.
And good morning, Eastland Burkholder.
Blödsinn. 6, 4.
What's going on this morning?
Apparently, the 4K, Ultra 4K Roger Rabbit's coming out
Oh,
later this year. In my Googling for images and whatnot, came across that news item. Only got released a couple weeks ago that the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray is on its way for any Roger Rabbit fans.
well, that's some news. So hey, good to hear. So for any Roger Rabbit fans, there will be a 4K, Ultra 4K, whatever edition coming. And how is Mama Pray, by the way?
She's okay. She's apparently the flooding in the garage has got some, apparently for whatever reason, the people who owned the house before me put wood paneling down
Oh God.
on the floor of the garage. Yeah, well, it was a sound studio. They were using the garage as a sound studio, so they put wood paneling with a padding below it on the floor of the garage. Not the whole garage, maybe 3/4 of the garage,
Mm-hmm.
and some of that got wet too, and now that's still wet, and obviously it's not going to dry easily. So Mom probably wants to get it out of there, but of course that's easier said than done. Yeah, because we got a lot of stuff in the garage.
Yep.
I'm debating. I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, anything we do, a lot of it's going to land on Mama Prey. So we could hire TaskRabbit to do bulk of the work once we know what to do. I don't know. I'm debating pricing one of those pods they put in the driveway,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe get some TaskRabbiters to move stuff from the garage into the pod.
Wait, they gotta put the bed.
Yeah, well, we can't do it this week, but and basically empty the garage completely,
Yeah.
and then just put back in what we really need. I don't know, but we gotta.
When I put it out, it's gonna go in the garbage.
Okay, Mama Brad says she's just gonna put stuff out to the garbage.
It's a bit.
Probably for the best. I was going to say, what we really need is not in the garage, the kid one. We don't put stuff we really need in the garage. Like it is honestly, I don't want to say it's junk, but it's all extra stuff that, God forbid, we never saw it again. Wouldn't end our lives, and I think the time has come to just cut ties with most of it.
And good morning, Deej.
Good morning, everyone, and hello, Mama Pray. Big hug from the old odd one.
Thanks, Deej. I'll let her know. Deej sends hugs, as does everybody.
Thank you.
Hello, Deej.
Oh, can I beat my head into a wall now?
Sure. Why
Not
not? Who's
before you
stopping
go check on the soy harvest.
Well, that's in a couple hours. I just came from watching a live stream where the people are talking about shit. They have nothing. They know nothing what they're talking about.
Okay, that's not unusual.
Sounds like every live stream on YouTube.
Of course, I also spent part of it talking to Andrew Jill. I got her convinced that Bird of Prey 5 loves Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
But this is what got me. They're having a conversation. They start talking about John Hurt. That's how the Crystal Skull shit come up.
Be right back.
Let me ask you, was this stream you were at titled Midnight to Midnight?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're drunk. Well, at least half of them. But they're sitting there trying to state fact that John Hurt never had a single line in Crystal Skull. Then they tried to say that he never had a line in the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you've never watched either.
Oh. Okay.
Of course, they're reciting Doomcock.
Doomcock retweeted my bed life last night. I was shocked. I guess he happened to check that on Twitter just as I posted it. I was kind of hoping there would be more people there, but well.
I finally had to give up, and I was glad that I seen Captain Trek was on because I'd already wasted an hour of my life listening to that garbage.
Yeah.
I saw it in the list of morning streams, and I was like, no, because I know what goes on. It's just not that there was really any reason, because I knew Captain was on anyway, but I did see it listed.
If you'd seen it before Cap came on, you would have seen me over there causing trouble. But I mean, come on, folks. Stop talking about shit if you've never watched it and know what the fuck you're talking about.
With that, I'm going to start talking about Doctor Who. You know what I don't like about the Daleks? Their name. It sounds stupid. Also, Daleks can't talk, from what I hear.
Kick 'em, Cap.
I think.
Well, at least you're not like LDG trying to spell it with an R.
Well, that's true.
Daleks. I think they're a reference to the Germans in World War II. Or the Japanese samurai.
He's the book holder. Daleks are great. 54.5 Access Radio. Good morning, Pooh Bear Forever. Hashtag Pooh Bear Forever. Hashtag Bert is a soy boy.
.5 Access Radio was just jealous. They got their asses kicked in WW2.
What? Where is 54.5 Access Radio?
Access. The Axis powers. World War II.
Okay.
Mar knows all about that.
Sure.
Where were you during World War II, Mar?
Well, I could tell you, but then I would have to kill you.
No, 54, it's 10 now.
You're supposed to say you weren't born yet.
Or
And then I say, funny how many people, Germans, say that these days. Yes, the Doctor Who expert.
yeah.
It's not 9 anymore. Access, it's
Well,
10 again.
actually, the way that I see it, it's not over yet.
All right, Mar, I gotta ask you. Do you have pin-up photos of Angela Merkel hanging on your wall?
No?
Not even to throw darts at?
Nope. Not since you asked me to send me all the nude pictures of her that I have.
Damn, he got me back. Well played, Mar. Well played.
Daleks are the datas of the Doctor Who universe.
No, Cybermen would be more closer to data. Daleks,
Oh,
Indeed, you're talking to number one Doctor Who
hello.
fan in Garoga. Okay?
Oh, God. Good morning, Kid Jack Wynn.
Yeah,
Good
but you're
morning.
talking to the expert as long as your butt's not around. So,
Now, what's going on today?
No, nothing. I heard somebody say Pooh Bear, so I thought I'd come in here and do the Pooh Bear voice. I read it in the chat. Somebody said Pooh Bear.
no, I'm never gonna live that shit down.
That's
Okay,
deep.
It'll
Gonna
probably last longer than the hashtag annual crystal skull per bird.
Oh, rabbit.
Hey, you're telling me that a hashtag I got started is going to be dying before?
I haven't seen it for quite a while.
Well, I stopped using it, so yeah.
Oh, rabbit. I want my money.
So yeah,
I'm CC Pooh Bear.
and yeah, Deej is Pooh Bear.
That's the new character, CC Pooh Bear. You know, CCP, CC Pooh Bear. So he walks around saying every communist thing and trying to get money out of everyone. Everybody owes him money. And he says, oh, political power comes from the barrel of a gun.
So
it's National Cheese Pizza Day.
really,
Actually, tomorrow.
No.
is.
damn it. Get my hopes up.
Is the movie out yet?
What movie? Cheese Pizza movie?
The new Dune.
I don't think it's out yet.
No, it's not. Not yet. I think that'll be out in November.
Let's see. I see what you did there. 54.5.
Looking it up, it said the original release date was October 1st. But it's been pushed back to I don't know, October 22nd now.
And yes, Daniel Crystal Skull for Bird.
I think most people don't realize how ridiculous Indiana Jones actually is. And that the Crystal Skull isn't necessarily that bad of a movie. And the only thing that makes that movie not watchable is Shia LaBeouf. And the fact that Indiana Jones did not raise his own son.
I don't know. Watched him kind of get blown by a nuclear bomb inside of a refrigerator. Didn't
Now,
happen.
how close was he to the bomb? They don't really say. And yeah, it's a refrigerator. Big deal. He jumped out of an
It
airplane
was
on a.
enough the refrigerator accelerated faster than the car by a long margin. They should have been dead. Okay, if he landed in the refrigerator, what they opened it should have been liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he probably should have
What?
died when he fell out of an airplane, too. So the physics in the Indiana Jones world are actually kind of wonky. So there you go.
Bird, you need to replay the movie again and do commentary through it and point out all the bad things.
So, wait, are you saying that American refrigerators do not have airbags installed? Just for
No.
that case?
No airbags in the fridges.
Not in 1940.
Also, I don't believe the aliens were
Right.
dumb. I believe the whole entire plot was kind of lifted from an episode of Stargate SG-1. Because Daniel Jackson's grandfather went through pretty much the same thing in an episode of Stargate SG-1. But nobody makes that comparison. They just say, it's dumb. They weren't necessarily aliens. They were interdimensional beings, which is actually fits with a lot of the reports of what the gray aliens actually are.
Gray aliens are Asgard.
Yes, they are. But in actual reports of dealings with gray aliens, they're interdimensional beings. L. Ron Hubbard and Lester Crowley are how do you put it? How do I put this? They are said to have conjured a portal in which one of these creatures came out of.
I don't even know where to begin.
Harry Potter movie. Yeah.
That's just something I heard in going down the rabbit hole of aliens and all that jazz. Okay. Why is that any more dumb or less dumb than falling out of a airplane in a raft and going to India and finding stones that glow? And for some reason, I just don't understand why one thing is dumb and the other thing isn't, when it's no less ridiculous.
There
And the
are
real
levels of believability.
And the real plot points that
or
make it
levels of
ridiculous,
dumbness.
they're real plot points that people should be focusing on. See, this is my point. People don't focus on the proper thing. You're going to criticize the movie. You should criticize it for Indiana Jones not raising his own child and being with Marion when he could have been. There are so many other ways that you could come at it other than,
Yeah,
oh,
but
it's
hold
aliens
on.
are stupid.
Hold on. She didn't tell him that she had a kid.
He still cared enough about her to marry her at the end of the movie. He could have been
Well, at
with
the
her
end
the
of the
whole
movie.
time.
Yeah,
Well, you know, when fights
They
go
didn't have
on.
Facebook. There's no way for him to know
no,
if
can't
he
blame
He
him
wasn't
doesn't
for
have
that.
to know
told.
about the kid in order to go be with her.
No, no, wouldn't have to know. She didn't tell him. How would he know?
That's my point. The point is that he cares enough about her to spend what little life he has left. Apparently, he can't die because of the Holy Grail. That's why he didn't die in the refrigerator, and that's why he was like 100 some odd years old in the Indiana Jones Chronicles. But nobody ever mentions that.
And technically, no,
I don't
he
know
was
what
not. He could die because he left the area where
The
he
Grail
drank
still
from it
has the ability to heal. If that was
to
the case,
heal.
then the bullet would have reappeared after he left the seal.
his
So
father
whatever it
died.
did, so whatever it did, it still did it. It may
His
not. He may
father
still
died, and
eventually
he
die.
drank from the Grail. So
Yes,
why
but he
why
died a
would
natural death. He died a natural death after having lived probably a very long time, and that's my point. My point is that he lives a long time, even in the when he's in the refrigerator. The reason he survived it is because of the Grail.
no that doesn't make any sense. Maybe he would be beat to shit and still have a heartbeat and take him 2 years to recover, but it wouldn't make him
Why?
magically
Why? Why wouldn't it?
indestructible.
Why
Because
wouldn't
he
it?
can get shot and break his arm and get hurt and everything else, yet inside the refrigerator is indestructible.
It afforded him some protection. Because if it didn't,
It's just
he would have died
levels
just then.
of disbelief that you have to allow yourself for a movie to take place. And don't get me wrong, the fact that they can pull the heart out of the body while you're still alive is pretty stupid. Don't get me wrong. I'm
But it's
not out
not,
there.
because
Yeah,
this is the
well,
problem. This is the problem. It's not stupid because it's dealing with a mystical object. It's a mystical ceremony. It's dealing with mystical things. It's not stupid that he survived the refrigerator,
no, the
because
refrigerator is absolutely stupid. There's nothing mystical. You see, that's it, the
No.
thing. You
no,
can say there's something mystical about stones and
he has
ancient
had
Indian
contact.
whatever.
He has had contact with numerous mystical objects over the course of his life, and nobody knows what in the world that would do
Then
to him.
why did he even need to jump in the refrigerator? Why not just go stare at the atom bomb, give it the finger, let it go off in front of him, and then walk home?
Yeah, exactly.
Because cool guys don't look at explosions.
No.
Besides,
Actually-
even the knight said that he would die if he left the area where the Grail was.
It doesn't
Because
say
he'd
how
been there.
long he would die. It says that he would die. Doesn't say anything of the kind. It just says that he would die. He wouldn't live forever. And he doesn't live forever.
Mm. Even the night got older.
There you go. So my point being is that he's been in contact with many mystical objects. And it's possible that the Holy Grail is the reason he survived the refrigerator. The only reason nobody wants to admit that that's the case is because they want to forget and apply logic to something that's completely illogical anyway. And it's been that way since the very beginning. From the very beginning of the franchise, logic has not applied.
Hey, look, Darren Wagner's here, our salty repellent.
Yeah.
Yay.
Greetings.
So Indiana Jones survived the refrigerator stunt because of blank. And I have here my card of Dildo of Enlightenment +2.
Okay. That's no more ridiculous than anything that has ever happened in an Indiana Jones movie ever.
I would argue no.
Now, the most ridiculous thing to ever happen in an Indiana Jones movie is taking a bullwhip to a gunfight, or a sword to a gunfight. That's the most ridiculous thing. You don't pull out a sword and think you're going to kill somebody when he has a gun. You
I
shoot.
agree. And you use a gun when they have a sword and nothing else. And why did he only use the gun that one time? And when he didn't have any other bullets or a way to reload the gun?
And don't get into a fight next to an airplane with the props moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's another stupid thing you don't do. And hashtag blame Michael.
And oh, how about X marks the spot? And it actually did. That's pretty ridiculous.
And when you look like Indiana Jones, you do not pick a fight with a guy who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, his dad.
Yeah, why would he do that? Oh yeah.
It was actually the writer's pin that saved Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
I'm almost regretting mentioning Crystal Skull now.
Yeah.
Almost.
And make no mistake, I don't like the movie. I don't like the movie at all. I think it's ridiculous. I think the whole thing is kind of not easy to watch.
There was somebody in that other stream I was at before I came here that said Crystal Skull was greater than Temple of Doom, though.
I completely disagree. Short Round alone makes that movie worth watching.
That's racist.
I didn't say not worth watching. I said worth watching.
You can't have a movie nowadays with a character called Short Round. And of course, Resolute, it's always my fault.
I have no clue why that's racist.
No, Dr. Jones.
I
No,
have no
Dr.
clue why
Jones. You
that's
can't
racist.
do that,
I'm
Dr.
very-
Jones.
Yep.
So people can't have accents with or second languages.
Nope, that's racist. Can't do that anymore.
Well, I say I don't buy the premise. I don't buy the premise, and the burden of proof is on the accuser. That's what people need to stop doing. Stop acting like all of those people have any sort of logic in their brains at all, and that they're not just trying to force you to do
Logic?
something.
Logic? We don't need no stinking logic.
No, they don't.
See, I do better accents than some.
But isn't that always the same for everything that has to do with archaeology? That they make it something mystical just to make it not boring?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just like all the time when they make something, when they do like vampires and werewolves and stuff.
And yes, Darren, Indiana Jones is creepy and a bad person.
Yep.
What about the plot point of Indiana Jones and his father banging the same chick?
Well, who hasn't done that?
That's something nobody ever. They just mention that, and then they gloss right over it, like that never happened.
Let's
As
be
long
He got
as
Hitler's autograph in that. He got Hitler's autograph in that book.
Who
As
didn't
long-
bang Elsa?
as long as the chick wasn't the wife mother, then it's okay.
Like, can we even determine how far they fell in that in the second movie in Temple of Doom when they were in the raft? How far they fell?
I think Mythbusters said it was possible to survive.
True.
I think the size of the raft and the would slow the rate of fall long enough for them to land on the mountain like they did.
See, even JP's agrees with me, and that's not often JP's agrees with me, but he says it's okay to bang the same chick as long as it's not at the same time.
It was practically the same time. I'm pretty sure it occurred within the same month.
And same month doesn't count as long as
Same-
they weren't both tag teaming her at the very same moment.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm sorry. I don't even care if it was the same day. Hours apart, fine. Same time.
That's when it
Ew.
becomes an issue.
It's all pink on the
Yep.
inside.
You do not really want to have the penises kiss, especially not if the other penis is the one of your dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but you got to take it in this consideration. How many times you get thumped in the forehead if your daddy was still having sex with your mom while you were still inside?
I know kids. Well, not kids. I know couples who were. Yeah. Well, when the woman's extremely needy at the time. Yeah.
It might explain why some children come out with a little indent in their forehead. Poor Arabic.
I slowly get the feeling we are going into the direction of Two Girls, One Cup.
No. Please don't.
Oh, Ervik, trust me. No, this time we're gonna blame. God, I don't know who to blame now.
I heard a description of that video. I can't imagine actually having seen that video. I heard a description of it, and I can't even. It
JP's
hurt
wants
me.
to be the cup.
It hurt me. It's just not. Oh man.
I think we're gonna blame Ken Jack Ben for this. So yeah.
You're gonna
Morning,
blame me
Dee.
for it? That's fine.
Oh God.
Hell, I was going to blame LDG, but
LDG sounds like an STD.
okay, we'll try to get this back under control, folks.
Eventually.
I said try, though.
Yes. Good morning, the Catman, aka DD Myers.
It's a cat man, Scooby Dooby Doo. No, never mind.
I was gonna say Catman Juice.
And
My cousin bothered me to watch the Doctor Strange What If, and I was like, that was a downer. Did you make
good
me
morning,
watch that?
Chimp.
How's it going, Apes?
Hey, it's our salty repellent.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that.
Fucking
Doing
idiotic.
all right.
Other than being cowardly, I suppose.
Who dat?
So what happened?
I was doing a stream yesterday. Salty was up on the stream with me. He actually came to my stream for a change.
Right.
As soon as Darren come up, Salty bailed.
Yeah.
A very flimsy reason, too, as I recall. Just,
Yeah, it was well, Darren never agrees with anything I say anyway, so I'm gonna leave. Bye. And boom.
yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, he's afraid of discussion. Proper discussion.
He does call himself salty. He doesn't like his
Yeah,
ideas to be challenged.
For the
Incredibly.
last like month and a half, maybe he's been called salty. Before that, he was anti, and
I still cannot find any documented evidence anywhere with anybody
Yeah.
calling him salty before that.
well,
No. I think he picked it.
I've looked. I listened to the supposed stream that it came from. I read the chats in the stream. Didn't see it anywhere.
It might be a little too close to Antichrist for his liking.
well, no, that wasn't. He had that name for years, and he clung on to it because it was his idea, even though it was clearly hurting him in terms of like the YouTube search algorithm, of course, would lump him in with Antifa, and
Yeah.
and anything with anti in front of it can be considered negative. So
We had
you know,
me and him had a big discussion. I call it a discussion. You would probably call it an argument. Over the fact that the comm panels on the ship, and he said that knobs and dials are better than the LCAR's menu, and I was
Of
saying
course they are.
they are.
I disagree. I disagreed then. I disagree now. It's like, why would they change it if it wasn't better?
Well, maybe the LCARs got more reliable over time. Right
And
now,
that's
I
my
mean,
point.
there's a
problem
reason
is-
why. But
If the electronics go out, you have no controls. If you got
Right.
knobs and buttons, you still got
That's-
controls.
mhm.
But this is a problem. Just because the knobs and buttons just because there's knobs and buttons doesn't mean that it functions in the same way that you think it does. It's not a mechanical linkage for that type of technology. The
Well, I
power
know that
goes
on-
out, the knobs and buttons don't work either.
I know that on submarines they still rely on knobs and switches for a lot of their control surfaces, just in case there is a power problem. So, yeah. But I mean, the other reason is because if a touch screen goes out, you got to replace the whole screen. Whereas if a switch goes out,
Replace the switch.
much easier to replace the switch or the knob or whatnot.
I imagine that in the future and the technology that they're dealing with, it's
No.
way more advanced and not as prone to running out or failing in that way.
We still saw printers on the bridge of the of Kirk's Enterprise in the old series.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
That
they were
was-
still printing things out of paper.
yeah, that was 1960s view of what the future might be. So
Yeah. I know.
it scales upward when you get to the 1980s of the future.
Right.
It's just like now, they can't fathom a world where there's not a hologram in the future, even though we don't even have that now. So they go back, and these people don't know anything about Star Trek, and they put holograms 10 years before Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
That
I don't
makes
know.
no
I
sense.
I know some people who think it's charming that the technology would, in some areas, regress a little bit in the future. You know, particularly after a third world war. You know, but
How can the technology regress when they have access to whatever the Vulcans know?
maybe the
In terms
Vulcans
of
never invented
education,
it. You know,
in terms of education, though, see, the Vulcans are tasked themselves because they even say it in Enterprise. They were there on Earth for 100 years to help humanity climb out of the funk they were in.
Mm,
I think they were there to observe mostly. That you know, you look
Vulcans are
at for
not
example.
necessarily a curious race. They are not. They're not curious in the way humans are, but they are also not cruel. So if there's
you look-
people there that are sick and dying and having radiation and tribal disputes, they're going to settle it, or at least help them.
and let's see here. KP says analog versus digital. Yep. And then says that Matrix predators were on the bridge of the Enterprise. Yes, they were.
And I assert the premise that in the 24th century, there's no such thing as analog.
Disagree. Absolutely disagree.
But yeah,
And just because it looks like a knob or a lever doesn't mean it operates like one.
Possibly.
I mean the view screens on Star Trek were all supposed to be in 3D. Of course, we didn't really see that because we were looking at it on a 2D screen. But you know, those are things we didn't see either. But we know how they're supposed to work.
So it's supposed to be like a self-contained holographic diorama, which we actually have displays that can do that. We have them now.
Yeah, they kind of intimated that on TNG when they would show Picard talking to somebody on the view screen from an angle, because the angle on the screen would change of the person on the screen, so you'd be seeing them in semi-profile, and that was kind of a clue. But yeah,
I thought really the first one was on the Defiant when they had the whatever thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
It was actually on the in Cisco's office too.
Right.
And that was a way for them to cut costs for production. They could just put the actor in there and light them under a different colored light above. And they tried it for 2 episodes and got rid of it.
And the actor that played the admiral or the other captain also played in the TV series. I can't remember if he's an admiral or a captain, but he did the phone call with. And they're working on a way to actually do that as well. have. It's called telepresence,
Hmm.
and they're working a way to integrate VR and alternate augmented reality scenarios to
Hmm.
actually have telepresence, something very similar to what they showed in that series. But anyway, the actor who played in that scene also played in the TV series Alienation, played George Francisco,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was another great 90s sci-fi show,
Yeah. Based off of film.
which was also very good.
Yeah, I agree. Gary Graham also was on that show.
Yeah. Excellent actor. Doesn't get nearly as much recognition as he should.
Well, he was for many years just a character actor working at Universal. He'd have guest appearances on everybody else's TV show, and then he finally got his own for a little while. That was kind of nice. But there's a scene, memorable scene from The Incredible Hulk, where he gave LSD to, put some LSD in David Banner's orange juice. Yeah. And it included one of the only scenes, well, one of the few scenes where Ferrigno and Bixby could be in the same scene because the Hulk was hallucinating.
That's cool. They did that a lot on the Hulk animated series from the 90s, where Banner was like stuck inside the Hulk's brain or whatever,
Yeah.
and they would always have arguments, and then alternate personalities would show up and it'd be Mr. Fix-It or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't watch the 90s cartoon. I had all the comics they were based on, so.
Yeah, well, I'm a cartoon guy, so I watch a lot of animation, and I wanted to get into voice work and stuff, but I could never.
Yeah. My favorite Hulk cartoon was the one from the 80s by Sunbow, even though it had flaws. Every time Banner would turn into the Hulk, his clothes would rip, but then when he changed back in the final stage of the transformation, all of a sudden his clothes would be restored back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a limitation of budget animation at the time.
Yeah, also the same backgrounds all the time too.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly thought he just found more of the same, or had more of the same.
Well, they would show
Okay.
him changing from Hulk back to Banner, and they would show him gradually, at each stage, his body getting smaller and his skin getting, less green, and then all of a sudden, the final stage, boom, his shirt and tie are back.
Nowadays, I would have solved that problem with a quick visit to Reed Richards to give him a pair of pants that can rip but actually come back together over time.
Yeah. Yeah, the unstable molecules idea. But Stan Lee narrated that show, and that's one of the reasons why I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He was such a hokey guy.
There's a lot of people that remember Stan Lee, and there soon will be people that don't remember him at all.
Right. Yeah, they'll wonder who that old guy was making appearances in all the Marvel movies. And I'll have to look him up.
He also did I think he did some narration for the original the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon. And they showed Juggernaut in that one, where his hand came out of the water.
Mm-hmm. No idea. I didn't watch cartoons in the 90s except for maybe the Batman animated series. That was about it.
Batman
I
animated
definitely watched
series.
that.
The Batman animated series and all the DC stuff, and animation was great in the 90s. You could watch the 90s Marvel stuff as well. It's excellent.
Yeah.
It's very much akin to like Marvel and their hokey sort of it's a little bit cheesy. It's a lot like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
And good morning, the Script Doctors Live.
Hello there.
Hey.
I totally forgot about that there was a Hulk cartoon.
Yeah.
They had Luke Perry play because it was Fox. Fox was airing it. They had Luke Perry play Rick Jones. and they had Brian Austin Green play Johnny Storm. Who was like they're like the it team actors back then. They were all Beverly Hills 90210 cast members.
Yeah, there had been a attempt to make a Hulk movie by Universal in the late '90s, and I remember all the rumors that Johnny Depp had been cast. Everybody assumed he was going to play Rick Jones, but of course, no, he was playing Dr. Banner in that movie.
What?
And it never.
That's such a bad casting.
Well, yeah, I think it would have worked, but the one of the interesting scenes was that Depp had to learn how to play the piano. He had started taking piano lessons because one of the scenes was the night before the big gamma test. The Banner character had a piano in his home, and he was composing a song, and of course that song was the Lonely Man theme from the TV series.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was learning how to play that song on a piano when he found out he didn't get that the movie wasn't going to become a thing.
I'm glad for that. I don't like the movie. I don't like the Hulk movie they gave us, but I don't think that.
Yeah, gonna get the cream shit down.
No, it won't. You know how many times I've played it on my streams?
God knows how many. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never got a content match on it yet.
Murphy likes to play Captain Trek a visit, though. So.
If you were gonna do a 90s version of Incredible Hulk, I think Johnny Depp as Rick and Scott Bakula as Banner would be good.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty good fit too. You're right, but Johnny Depp at that time was a leading man, and so he wouldn't have played a sport.
You could even have Luke Perry, especially in the '90s. Luke Perry would have been a good. You already played him in the animated capacity. He could have played him in a real movie.
Yeah,
and Scott Bakula is perfect as Banner.
Yeah, we've never had a Rick Jones in any live action version of the Hulk that I'm aware of too. So a lot of people don't even know who that is. I mean,
no,
we didn't get a General Ross in live action either until.
Yeah, I followed the animation. That's how I know who he is.
Right.
And I followed some of the comic books, not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I read the entire run of because I had Marvel. I had a Marvel. Before Marvel went to crap and they started making every other character LGB whatever.
Right. A rainbow person.
Rainbow heads.
Mm-hmm.
Before they did that, I was going to the comicbooksonline.com, and I was reading all of the comic books that were getting ripped. And I read the entire run of what was it? Venom, Agent of the Cosmos. I really enjoyed that book. It was good. It wasn't like Guardians of the Galaxy Light or redo of Guardians of the Galaxy. It wasn't at all. And my favorite character in that story was this robot that had the brain of a criminal inside of its body, and he was constantly asking Flash Thompson to kill him. Oh, so you're gonna kill me? When are you gonna kill me? I think you should kill me now. Because he didn't want to be a robot. I think that's one of the funniest characters in any story ever. Because he would constantly wax poetic about wanting to die.
Yeah, I just looked something up here, and somebody had wrote down that if you do watch the Hulk movie, at the beginning when it shows the SHIELD database, it does list Rick Jones.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not in the movie.
No, he's not
He's
in
not
the
a
movie,
main
but at
character.
least
That's,
his
that's,
name.
that's just an Easter egg reference. Is all it is. Yeah.
When both incarnations of the Hulk animated series, this includes Agents of Smash and the '90s one, the '90s animated Hulk, had Rick Jones as a key character. Agents of Smash had him becoming A-Bomb,
Yeah.
which is it was an okay character. I even watched that Hulk show.
I didn't care for all the new taking his supporting cast and
Yeah.
making them all monsters. I didn't care for that at all.
It's
That was right around the time I really stopped reading comics in general, right after World War Hulk, basically.
yeah, when he got enough power to destroy a planet, and then had a family, and then they took it away, which they always do. They ruin characters when they do that.
Well, I think in general it was a mistake for Marvel to start having their superheroes all of a sudden have these adult children show up. That apparently that they were doing all kinds of, doing the deed behind the between the panels of all your classic X-Men comics and things. I think that the creme de la creme of that was when Wolverine was trying to break into some guy's lair. I can't remember who it was now, but every person he fought had claws and a healing power like him, and he thought they were just going to be. He was killing off people that had been augmented with his DNA, and he gets through and he finds out that every single person he killed was a child of his from that he'd been having all these relationships for
Think about
decades.
It, though. It makes sense with Wolverine. It's kind of a heartbreaking sort of thing for Wolverine for that to happen to him.
In my opinion, that was way too tragic. You can't get behind a character that does that, even if it's an accident. And there were the writers at Marvel for about the last 20 years, they just don't human very well.
No, they don't. Not at all.
And that was an example of it. It's like the character didn't need that. He was plenty dark already.
At some point, it becomes so tragic that it's a farce
right.
of a tragedy.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so now I'm just going to laugh my butt off at this because it's so tragic, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Peter David wrote
all of his children and didn't know anything about them.
And didn't know anything about them, yeah. So,
then why would I ever feel sympathy for that at all? I wouldn't feel bad for the guy. And I wouldn't he shouldn't feel bad about it.
That takes him way outside the boundaries of the normal audience realm of experience, right? Because that was one of the reasons why they had all these superheroes having kids, because they knew that the last big generation of comic book readers were at that age now where they were having kids, and they thought they might relate to it's one of those things where the comic book industry was always afraid of cultivating new readers from kids towards the end of its life, the last 30 years or so. And they started trying to keep the ones they had instead of getting new readers, and that was one of their tactics, was to have all of a sudden all these adult kids show up. But yeah, the another example was Peter David. He had done a 10-year run on the Incredible Hulk, and the Hulk's life is already tragic enough, but he had to add one more little piece of tragedy, and that was that Banner, when he was in high school, tried to blow up his school, like he was a Columbine kid, that kind of a deal. Yeah, and when the police found the bomb, it was so sophisticated that it attracted the attention of a Colonel Ross, who decided to put him on a program for designing weapons for the military, which is preposterous. But that was Peter David's thinking. He was, he always takes whatever.
That had to be an ultimate story. It had to be Ultimate Hulk, because it so changes it's such a huge retcon. It's like they do that with the Ultimates version of the character.
It wasn't exactly a retcon. It was just a story that had never been told before, and Marvel decided eventually to ignore it for the most part when retelling his origin. But that was Peter David is a very highly political writer.
I enjoyed Peter David's work in Star Trek.
On a level that's
I really
different than most other SJW writers. He's anything that was like a major plot point or a major news article of the day went right into his scripting, and Columbine was happening. The repercussions of Columbine were happening right around that time that story came out. So
Yeah, never mind all the fact that you could work that in there. You could work that in the story about the fact that those kids were on all kinds of psychotropics.
Right, but anyway,
and the psychotropics aren't blamed for any of it. It's the inanimate object known as the gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah. Peter David also he wrote a story about
stuff is great though.
He wrote a story about 9/11 being a nightmare that was exposed that was actually perpetrated by the Marvel Demon Nightmare, and Marvel threw that one away too. He wrote this. They
that's
published
like
a story.
A boogeyman. I wouldn't put that in there. Why would you even do that?
Because as a lefty, he wanted the whole 9/11 situation to go away. As a lefty from New York, that was literally what he said. He's like, I wish it would, it was all just a bad dream. So I'll make it a bad dream in this story, And this was also
Marvel could probably get away with that as a thing. They could probably get away with it, but it's just a bad look.
Yeah, the Marvel's handling of 9/11 was interesting because they had already destroyed the Twin Towers a couple years earlier. Juggernaut knocked them over in a battle with the X-Men in New York, and they conveniently forgot about all that. And then when 9/11 happened, they had all these superheroes reacting to it happening, and nobody mentioned that that they'd already been destroyed.
I remember watching an episode of Fantastic Four, the animated series, and they blew them up there too. There was one of the characters was playing a video game, but you don't know that he's playing a video game. You see the Twin Towers and you see them blow up, and it's one of the first scenes in the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
And this was around 1995.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's.
I always wanted to see the actual theatrical cut of the movie, of the original theatrical cut of the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man, with the scene where the bank heist is in it.
Well, they filmed that for the trailer.
So that wasn't even in the movie.
That wasn't in the movie. That was not in the movie. No, that was just filmed for the trailer. And that trailer, of course, had to disappear as soon as the towers fell.
Yeah.
I mean, it had only been out for like maybe 2 months.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember because it reminded me of a lot of the video games that I had played before.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get ready for work. I'll talk to you guys later.
Absolutely.
All right.
You have a good day, Darren.
See you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take off too because I'm gonna have to head out to work.
Okie dokie. See you, Deech.
But there'll be a mowing video today at some point with a rant.
Cool.
Well, my phone's overheating, so I gotta go too.
Okay. Take care, Ken Jack Ben. You have a good day.
All right.
Glad
You
you were
too.
able to join.
Goodbye and God bless.
So, if I got that right in the beginning, as Darren came on, Anti-Tracker or Salty Tracker now has problems with him because of God damn it.
Basically, to be blunt, Salty Trucker is not great at debate. He wants to be right all the time. And I'm sorry, nobody is right all the time. Nobody.
But he does know that he created a paradox there. He cannot say that he cannot argue with Darren because Darren thinks that everything that Salty Tracker says is wrong, because they would both agree on the same thing there, which actually makes it a paradox or a lie.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's true. Resolute term. And Darren does not back down. A lot of times people will just to get him to shut up. Deej doesn't usually back down, but there have been a few times he has, just to get him to shut up. Anyhow, Bird, what's up?
I'm here, Cap. I was just listening.
Okay.
I missed the actual moment Auntie or Salty left yesterday, but it was quick. I know that much. Weirdly quick. Anyway, not much going on here. Just took my morning numbers, heart rate, blood pressure, all within norms. So all good there.
Good.
I didn't wake up resolute. I said I'd be right back as I was busy, and then I got back.
And then he was quiet.
I was quiet, but I was listening. Always listening. And information is power, of course. So need input. Saturday.
And what's going on Saturday? I know Resolute Germ is going live at 10 a.m. Central.
That's a few hours, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I'll put up the link to Roger Rabbit soon. Then I'll probably take a nap because I didn't get a ton of sleep last night. I was up quite late playing Warzone with Wesley. He happened to be off yesterday, and we've been wanting to play for a while, but then I had to wait while his game updated because it had been a while since he played. So we didn't get started until like an hour later than I thought we would. But it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm getting a little bit sleepier myself.
Well, you take care, Mar.
What did this CPAP say? He didn't say
Hey,
he was leaving. He just said he was getting a
Oh.
little sleepier.
Oh, okay.
exactly. I'm not quite done yet.
Oh,
Kick
okay.
him out.
I want to
But
make
if
sure
you hear a strange sound and there is a lot of Zs coming from me in the chat, then I probably fell asleep and I'm resting my head on the keyboard.
All right, let's see here. Who is backstage? It is Resolute Germ.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on,
Hey,
Germ?
Resolute.
Not much. Gonna have to set up a new Twitter account, most likely.
Yep.
Jeez, what are you guys doing that you
The
all
soulless
get your
minions of orthodoxy get you.
Twitter accounts
Pretty
kicked?
much. Some guy was alluding to that attack on the Kabul airport was the fault of Americans who hadn't evacuated yet, and I called him a retard for it. And he
Yeah,
bitched out and complained to you to Twitter.
that'll do it.
I would like to know what those people write to Twitter to get accounts banned. Hello, I'm a retard, but he's not allowed to call me that. Could you please ban him?
Pretty much.
Ah.
No, he's just one of those Biden apologists who was looking for some way, somehow, for it not to be Biden's fault. And he decided to blame the Americans who are still in Afghanistan. So I
Sure. Why not?
pointed out his lack of mental fortitude, and he started crying. He tried to defend himself, but he gave up and just went crying to Twitter support.
Loser.
Still a funny story, but I got banned from Twitter as well for about 30 minutes because I wrote that Biden is not my president. And they really banned me for it, and they needed 30 minutes to find out that I'm not even American. So my statement was not untrue.
Yeah. I'm still not sure if I may convert one of the backup accounts, but at this point I only use it to get notifications about YouTube and probably shit on some of the liberals.
Well, they still blame Trump for it.
Yeah.
Darren.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
They will got you.
But then again, if that would happen under the Trump administration, I would guess that he would go back in there in full force.
Well, the last time that Americans died in Afghanistan, the Trump administration up the Moab. And that's when Taliban agreed to that deal. And it was more than a year of nothing happening, at least to American troops.
Oh, whew. My ears perked up, Germ.
Oh,
I heard the magic word and it's like, ooh.
no, we're not getting into political talk in me.
Oh, come on, that's half the fun. Well, anyway, it was kind of funny because I had just put up. I was just finishing the upload on my video. Because personally, if they decide I think the rally cry for 2022 should be, we're going to take the House, we're going to take the Senate, and we're going to impeach him. That should be their rally cry. And then say we're going to take that phone call he made in July asking for Afghan president to lie for him and use that. Put that stain on his ass.
Well, that's only one thing you can use against him. At this point, criminal negligence comes into play.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, incompetence isn't a crime.
It is once you get to a certain point.
You would like to think so. But yeah, well, you know what it is. I mean, he's like, just blames everybody else but himself.
Yeah.
So no, I put up one. I said, hey, the rally cry should be, we're going to vote us in so we can impeach him. Now,
Well, be
unfortunately, you have
impeacher
a
at
bunch of
that point.
soft...
Biden's going to have a little accident right before the midterms, and they're going to try to use that to drum up sympathy to help push their numbers. That is, if they can keep the old man going that long. Because he did go into Walter Reed at 8 p.m., around 8 p.m. on Thursday or Friday night, unexpectedly. And say, oh, that's to visit the troops.
Yeah, sure.
With 10 minutes head notice to the media pool.
Oh, I'm sure Jen Psaki will circle back on that one.
And magically, we haven't heard anything from him in that amount of time. Not word one out of the White House.
Somebody's got to tell him what to say. Whoever's instructing him or telling him.
Him or a robot or whatever. It's the entire White House just zip, nothing. Not even denying any of the rumors. They shut this completely up. So they're with the mad scientists and necromancers trying to get him moving again.
Yeah. I'm more interested in what's going to happen in 10 days. I'm kind of curious to how things are going to look on September 15th. I'm curious to see what's going to happen in California.
Yeah, actually, I think it does.
I saw this one, like this, one of the states, New Mexico's like every time Texas passes a new abortion law, they're like, they get more business. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know if that's something I'd be bragging about, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know why people are having such a problem with that. It is not meant to be a form of birth control. But I know, especially up here in fucking what might as well be a Chinese outlet, I know women who've had 3-4 abortions. They're not even 30.
I'm sorry. That how do I say this? I think there are too many women who use abortions as a means of birth control. And that should never have been the way they're used.
Let's see this. I don't know. Who's Rosanna Arquette? I don't know who that is. She's like, I just turned down a film I love because it shoots in Texas. Okay, well then you don't. Then they'll hire somebody else.
I know
Maybe.
the name. She's one of the Hollywood idiots. It's like, yeah, go fuck
Well, let's
yourself,
see.
bitch.
I'm waiting to see this one. Oh, Jerm, could you imagine this? That they say we're not filming in California if they vote yes on the recall. It's like last time I checked, most shit doesn't even get filmed in Hollywood because it's too damn expensive.
Yeah, they're all up in Vancouver.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how many times I've seen the same cityscapes in Vancouver just be renamed some other town.
Oh yeah, many times. And anymore, with the way they can digitally fix things, it'd be really easy to go in and go, oh, okay, that's Seattle. Oh, that's New York. Oh, that's Chicago.
California. They do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s. Oh yeah, I've been there. That they just imposed the Space Needle or the Sears Tower or whatever the hell they want to make it look like a certain other city, but yeah, that's downtown Vancouver. A lot of the times what they do is they have the soccer stadium down there. They just drop whatever landmark they want on top of that.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Anymore, it's easy to do. Then you just put one fixture, and it's here. You're in Kansas City. Here, you're in. Yeah.
Now, the stadium doesn't look like much, but it is rather pronounced. It doesn't look too different from a lot of those other cookie cutter stadiums, but it does take up a chunk of space. Then again, I haven't been there for 15, 16, 17 years, something like that.
Last time I was up in Canada, I was 20. So almost 22 years ago.
Yeah. It had to be something like 04 or something close to that. Back when they didn't check you for an American ID when you got off the train. It's just, oh yeah, fine. You're out going to at the time it was minor league soccer. Just go over there. They ain't give a shit.
Nobody cared back then. Like, oh, okay, yeah, go. Now, forget it.
Yeah, man, the other day I was watching this, I saw that Project Veritas video that exposed this teacher. And man, you want to talk about a savage beatdown that school board got. Like one of the ladies was like, yeah, you took action because you got caught.
Yeah.
And these parents
Unfortunately, that's what it's going to take.
And what they have to do is make sure it's not just, oh yeah, he's suspended for 3 months and he's back the next semester in some other school.
Yeah, they're working right now on. He's on paid leave. They're trying to do unpaid leave, and then fire. I didn't know it was such a pain in the ass to fire a teacher.
It's harder to
But
fire a
Oh,
teacher
yeah.
than damn near anything. You
But it
remember
is
Mary Kay
California, so we
Letourneau?
expect.
Mary Kay Letourneau got knocked up by a student, went to prison, and she was technically on the payroll the entire time she was in prison. The union was still fighting for her.
Yeah, I remember that story. And then wasn't that the one where they actually she gets out of prison, they actually get married, and everybody was like, "This was some storybook thing." I was like, "Are you people just sick?"
Yep. But the union never stopped fighting for her, even when she was convicted.
That should tell you something about who's in charge there.
I think they got her off being directly paid by the school district, but the union kept feeding her money. She was never removed from the union.
I'm sorry. That's just up until she was convicted. I understand. That's fine. Once she's convicted, bye bye.
California is weird.
Hey, California.
Only thing I can
Thank-
see Californians that are all they want to do is blame. They're bitching either about Florida or they're bitching about Texas. It's like, you guys are the ones with the boss who's on the recall sheet, not them.
Yeah. But for the West Coast, all the states get this reputation that it's communist over here. Yes, it is, but it's only the western half of the mountains. If you go over to the eastern side of the mountains in all three states, relatively normal. Just when you get onto the left side of the Cascades where it turns into the People's Republic of the West Coast.
And it's unfortunate because what you have is you just have well, you have places like these big ass cities, and everybody lives in these big ass cities, and some of these people there, not all of them, but and I don't think Bird's like this, and he lives in New York City, but they have this smug idea that that's the best way to live, that's the only way to live, and the rest of us are out of our minds for living the way we do.
Yeah. I didn't try to explain. Yeah, tried to explain to some of these people what would you do without, say, Eastern Washington, and they just they don't matter. That okay? Where's the bread gonna come from that you're eating? They don't realize that if all these people just fuck off and left like they want them to, there isn't going to be any goddamn food, and you people turn to cannibalism inside of a month. It's not like anyone around here outside of the small little patches of, we got some like orchards and smaller dairy farms over on this side, but for the most part, if you're, say, in Belltown or Capitol Hill, you have no survival skills whatsoever. Pardon me. Society falls, you're as good as a zombie.
Well, look at it this way too, because it's been pretty much established that most of the food in the big cities would be gone within 3 days.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
About 3 days. then you got people like me who live out in the sticks and actually have stuff to prepare for things like that. Like I do store water, I do store food, I do store an extra couple of propane tanks just in case, lose power for a while. Think about those folks down in the big cities of New Orleans right now without power.
Yeah. And the thing is, they have at least a century of, if not more, of we know it's coming. We can prepare for it, but fuck it, we'll just rebuild the city exactly like it was. All up and down the East Coast and the Gulf Coast, it's a tragedy. Yeah, we're still building everything exactly like we have for decades upon decades. We haven't learned shit, but we'll just keep redoing it. I mean, you can prepare for a hurricane. You know it's going to happen. You know how bad it can get. Just prepared one grade higher than as bad as it can get, and you're not going to be fucked up every couple of years.
I mean, shit, you live on the coast. Hurricanes are coming. You know they're going to happen.
Yep.
This ain't like it's, oh shit, there's a hurricane. What was the last one we had? 6 months ago.
Yep. Yeah, it's like over here telling it, oh yeah, you got flooded out because it's been raining for 3 months straight. It happens every fall. The rivers crest. People get flooded out. They didn't even try to sandbag up the basement window. It fucking destroys people's furnace, destroys their property, and they act all shocked. It literally just happened to them last year, the year before that, the year before that. It's infuriating.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. But then again, that's why I live in Indiana now, and not in South Carolina anymore. It's like I lived in South Carolina. People. This was the fucked up thing too. Was we had some flooding and stuff in South Carolina, and everybody's flooding Walmart. I'm over at the dollar store picking up stuff there. It's like nobody's at the dollar store. I'm like, let's see, candles, some flashlight, couple batteries. Just some extra stuff. I already had most of that stuff at the house anyway. So when our power went out for like 3-4 days, I was out on my back porch cooking on the barbecue. Every propane tank in town was gone. I already had 3 of them at the house. I bought 2 new ones. When I originally did, I bought 3, and I just always go and exchange one for when it's done. And I still have 2 spares.
Yeah. Gave yourself a good 3 weeks to a month supply at any one time.
Yeah, pretty much. For a while we haven't done this yet, but for a while we had potable and non-potable water, where we just have some water set aside in some like old Coke bottles and stuff, or like gallon jugs just to use for in case you need to wash anything, or you want to take a sponge bath or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not difficult. It's a really simple. It just takes a little bit of time and not a lot of money. You just look at a simple list of what you mean. You just think about what you have. Are you in a flooded area? Are you in an area with a lot of hurricanes? Are you in an area with a lot of tornadoes? These things, and then you prep for what conditions are around. What's the most likely thing?
That
I
requires
mean-
forethought. These people don't have forethought.
I mean, for example, am I worried about a hurricane? Not so much as the initial part, but I can still get flooded. That I do know.
Yeah, and you're prepped for that. But fortunately, I
Like
know
I said,
people around here. It's just I talk to them and say, "What would you do if, say, downtown it rains so much that downtown starts flooding? The government will handle it. The city will handle that. They'll keep everything going."
yeah, there's your
And,
first mistake right there.
yeah, I look at them like you're not thinking this through. Uh, it's frustrating being around people like that.
Well, I think, what was it? Reagan said it best. The scariest words you'll ever hear are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
Yep.
But, I mean, people take the idea that there's this silly misconception. They take the idea of prepping, for example, and all they think of is that crazy, over the top zombie global pandemic kind of people that they put on TV, the ones that are obviously going over the top and stuff. And it's like, no, dude, it's not that complicated. It's like, why don't you just figure out the basic things you need figure out what you need for 72 hours immediately, and then figure out what you need for at least a couple of weeks. That's how you start.
Yeah. When I was in school, they based everything off of the 3 days, 3 ways concept. And even nowadays in school, they completely got rid of that. It's just, oh yeah, let's not have these little emergency kits. Let's just all meet over in the field and wait for the city to show up. If there's any type of real emergency, there ain't gonna be shit that happens.
Nope.
Like when I was in high school, we had the squally quake. Everyone was running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
I
They
remember
expected to
going
be able
through.
to contact the city, the state, the county. They couldn't call anybody.
Cap, were you in Kansas? Were you in Kansas City during the Great Flood of '93?
Yep.
I was in St. Louis. I remember that one. Everybody was freaked out, not knowing what the hell to do, waiting on the city or the state to do something. It's like, okay, this was your first mistake. And I was a kid back then. Obviously, I was 13, but my dad at the time had stuff prepped and things, and he's like, "We're good. We got what we need." And so many other people are just freaking out. So many other people were just freaking out. The ones I noticed who weren't freaking out? The people who lived through the Depression.
Yep.
Those were the ones that weren't freaked out. They were the ones that were prepared. Because they had they had that culture in them that, like, you needed to keep things because you never knew if it was going to be at the store or not, or if you were going to be able to buy it next time. I mean, you have a freaking, shit, it happens every time. When I lived in South Carolina, it's like every time a hurricane comes through, all of a sudden everybody's buying generators. And I'm like, why didn't you buy that damn? And then they're all running out everybody's out of generators and people are freaking out. And it's like, why didn't you buy the damn thing last year after the last flooding when you lost power?
Yep.
Or the time before that, or the time before that, or the time before that.
Because it's like, oh no, I need a generator. Fucking buy one, you idiot. You need one every year. Buy one.
It's like, you're going to lose power at some point. It's like, look, you're in this part of South Carolina. You're going to lose power at some point. And we had the shittiest damn grid. It was like a squirrel would fart and the damn power would go out sometimes. It's like, this is going to happen. This is not something fucking new. It's like, okay, I get it if it's your first time in the state, but come on, after that, you got no excuses. And then it's the same old damn excuse. Oh, well, I said I'd get it next time, or I'll get it shortly thereafter, and then I just got busy and forgot. Well, you just screwed yourself again. And if you do it, and you'll probably do it again next time. And then they're like, oh, okay, if the shit hits the fan, can I come to your place? No.
Well,
What are you
yeah,
gonna bring?
you got supplies to
bring
offer.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got any type of offer. You ain't coming here for free.
Yeah, that's the key thing. It's like, what do you got to offer? What are you bringing to the table?
Yep.
Well, I don't have anything. Well, then your ass ain't coming over. I didn't prepare. Your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on my part.
Nope.
I mean, it's
Okay, let's put it this way: if they were going, okay, I don't have room to put stuff. I'll contribute whatever, and you keep it there, and then I'll come over to your place. Okay, I get it. I get it. You got a big old barn. You can store shit. Okay, that would make sense.
That's generally people plan, but that's called planning ahead. It's saying, hey, it's like, hey, if flooding comes, I don't have the space here. Can I set some stuff in your barn? And if we bug in, we'll bug in at your place. Here's the stuff we have to contribute. Okay, that's fine. That is totally plannable and workable. But you don't just knock on my door.
Plan.
Yeah, you don't just knock on your door and say, I'm fucked. I need help. It's like, go call the government.
Yeah. You need to rely on your household first, your neighbors, community after that, and then you go to the city. You start hitting the government at the last resort. But you rely on your household and your community at large, like your neighbors and your friends around your immediate area, before you start going to any type of official. Because the official is just going to look in a goddamn manual that's going to tell them something that's going to make something 10 times worse. And it's going to take him 3 days to read that manual.
Or he's like, I don't know what to do. We're just waiting on FEMA. Because some areas, that's what they'll do. They won't prep, they won't plan, they won't do anything. They're just waiting on FEMA to show up.
Yeah.
Or something like that. They're like, oh, FEMA will be here. It's like, you fucking idiots. You're supposed to plan ahead for this. Whenever I hear people say, it's like that, when they say, well, the government or this or that's going to help take it, it's like, first off, that's the ass backward mindset. The first thought should be, you should first be planning for it. You are not going to get helped. That nobody is coming within those first 72 hours. It's why it's called a 72-hour kit.
Yeah.
And, a lot of these folks nowadays is, what happens if the cell towers go down and the internet's down? How are you going to communicate are you expecting them to come through flooded streets?
Yeah.
The streets are all flooded.
Your local government has got the hovercraft. They're not the damn U.S. military.
Speaking of which, about that stuff, I wonder if the Cajun Navy's been working hard over there since Louisiana's gotten hit.
Oh yeah, but they're having all sorts of fun trying to cover up for FEMA's shortcomings.
I'm sorry, FEMA's a joke anymore.
You can apply that to any federal program.
Yeah, and the problem is our idiots in government all have the same solution to it. Oh, this plan doesn't work. This project didn't work. Oh, we'll just throw more money at it. Put a little more bureaucracy in it. Yeah, that'll work better this time. hey, why don't we just scrap this plan and come up with a new one? No. You can't scrap a program.
Yeah. That'd be admitting they made a mistake.
Yeah.
If they do that, people might take away their job. They got into government because they didn't like working hard. So they will work as the most effort they ever will put into anything is to keep their cushy government job.
It's like, we can't get rid of this department. They'll lose their job. Recycle them to another department. Or they lose their job.
Better yet, lay them off.
Yeah.
If they can't find work in the real world, well, McDonald's is hiring right now.
So it's Walmart.
So's the gas stations. Like I said, if I drive into Terre Haute right now, I'll throw a stone, I'll hit a freaking help wanted sign.
Yeah. So
And then I
it may
still
not
see
be as
panhandlers
glamorous
outside.
flipping hamburgers as it was wearing a suit and talking about shit you don't know about.
Casey's
But-
is always hiring. So hey,
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually where I applied at. Was Casey's. Actually, let me see if I got an email back yet, other than the automatic response I got. Yeah, I just want a part-time job just for some extra money. That's about it.
Yeah. That's another thing people tend to forget about. Save some portion of your income. It doesn't matter if it's, but the best thing if to get started, get yourself a savings account and just do the penny plan. Every check you get, take 1% and just shove that over in your savings account. It doesn't look like much, but you keep it up long enough, it adds up. And when you need it to cover a power bill or something, you'll have something
yep.
to at least a part of it.
What I started doing roughly about 15 years ago was I inherited a lot of debt when I married Madam Geek. I didn't have really any debt because mine, I had filed for bankruptcy about a year or so prior. So my credit was total shit. And I started doing this. We paid a bill off. Once that bill was paid off, all that money that went in that bill, I took half of that. I put it into my savings account. And then I used the other half and I put it towards another bill. And I kept doing that. And I paid off within about 4 years. I think my wife and I were completely debt free at that time. Minus, house payment. But we didn't have a car payment anymore. Everything was pretty much done and taken care of. And eventually we were able to put enough money away to open up a money market account that now gets us, an even higher interest rate every month.
Good.
You start out small, start out just like $10. $10 this paycheck. That's, say that you do that, it's $20 a month. That's, that's $240 at the end of the year. May not sound like much, but there you go. There's an emergency electric bill if you need to take care of it.
Yeah.
And after 10 years, you got $2,400 if you haven't had to touch it. That's that's not something to sneeze at. You could actually then use it for something or keep saving. It's
Yeah.
Well, we ended up doing what?
Roll over, start investing.
So I have the way I've done it now is I have a money market account. That's my like if shit hits the fan money, retirement kind of little nest egg thing. And then some of that money went over into a kid's account. So like, for example, when my daughter moved into our apartment, that account was set up specifically with money specifically to help with moving, getting into a place and things like that. And then I have a set discretionary spending that I try to keep at a certain level, just in case. But, it took me 15 years to get there. It's not, you're not going to do it overnight.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, if you have to dip into it, just once the current emergency is taken care of, just go right back to building that up.
Yeah,
And
you
when
can
you
do that.
can,
Like,
just increase it a bit. Say you get a little raise at work, you can do an extra $1 or $2 every paycheck. Because personally, what I like to do is I broke it up into basically I ripped off Herman Cain and did a 5-5-5. I do
there you go.
5% for my 401k, 5% into a savings account, 5% into an investment account.
You got to admit, Herman Cain did have a really good plan.
It's catchy.
It was. That was definitely a good plan, and definitely works out. Today I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go spend a little of my play money. I'm gonna go up to the toy store and see what they got.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
But you know, I always give myself the smart thing is you go when you go do that kind of stuff. You know, anybody does it. Set yourself a budget. You know, I have a certain amount I try not to go over. Now sometimes it may happen, but most of the time I'm still pretty smart with it and come out and I spend what I wanted to spend.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have trouble sticking into that budget. You just have to figure out what works better for you. If if you have to itemize it to this is exactly what I'm going to spend on where I'm going to spend it, or if it's something more general, whatever helps you best to stick inside of that structured budget is what you need to do.
And I'm gonna pick up some. My goal is I'm gonna pick up some Star Wars, and if they have Man at Arms, the retro toy, Man at Arms, He-Man, I'm gonna buy that one because that's one I don't have yet.
Yeah, make sure it's the right one. Don't get anything with that Masters of the Universe label on it.
No. These are the ones that look like the classics.
No, even the ones that look like the classics. Some of them have the label Masters of the Universe on it. Get the classic 80s version, not the new knockoffs that Mattel's pushing out to try to milk out their IP rights.
Yeah.
Dude, they don't even. But they don't even. They're not even selling those at this toy store. Nobody was.
Cool.
They're like nobody's asking for them. We're not buying. It's like everybody's asking for the 80s toys. Nobody's asking for the new shit. And I'm like, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I know around here, I have a neighbor that works at Target. They just palletized their entire supply at one point and just drove it off to charity. So come December, there's going to be a lot of kids with very unfortunate gifts from the charity organization.
And good morning, Super Puss. How are you today? What's been what have you been up to?
And on that note, Cap, I'm gonna head out. Germ, Bird, Mar, it's good to see you guys. I will catch you all on the flip side and go see what the wife wants to do for the day.
See you, NB.
Later.
So what's going on, Bird and Germ?
I'm just setting up the chat or the stream.
I'm just finishing up breakfast.
Cool. And Super Mario Fest is good. Work soon. I do hope that work goes well today. But let's see here. So I know that President is working on his stream right now, getting things all set up, and in a minute we'll discuss what episodes are going to be on. Bird is finishing breakfast. After that, he'll be discussing the movie that he's got coming up today.
We got Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
And what time will that be?
3 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome.
It was 1988. I guess I probably last saw it in like 1995.
Wow.
Been a long, long time since I've seen it.
Same here.
It's an hour, I believe, hour and 48 minutes. So, not a super long movie. I'd say it's about the sweet spot.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that in years. Let's see. Had to check out, what do you call it? Twitch. I probably ought to watch that more since there are people that are watching there, but people rarely talk. I still need more followers. I only have 39 followers on Twitch. Be nice to get close to being an affiliate. I don't know if I ever will, but
You
why not?
affiliate on Twitch, you can't live stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
I know.
Okay.
There are ways around things. I don't have to necessarily go live on both.
Yeah, I mean, you can go live on one and then upload it later
Exactly.
to the other. But I mean, since you live stream mostly, it's not really. I mean, whichever one. I assume you'd have to live stream on Twitch and upload to YouTube, which would.
Yeah, that would not work. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but hey, if you wanted to do different content on each, you could at that point.
True.
I would wonder how much difference would there need to be in the looks for it to be considered a different stream, because there might be a way to have a whole different design or setup, but with the same audio.
True.
It is the audio which makes it, or the video would make it unique. If the video could make it unique, then you really wouldn't have to worry about streaming on both.
No.
sure there could be some way to put an overlay that's just in YouTube or just in Twitch.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm really about to drop out now.
Okay, take care.
Hope I'll catch you all later, and I hope I don't miss Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As I said, would be the first time I watch it in English. Might be interesting.
I hope so.
And I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you. I like that. You'll be able to watch it in English. Hopefully, you're able to be there today. So get some sleep.
Okie dokie. Talk to you all later. Bye bye.
Talk to you later.
Good night, Mar.
And let's see here. What episodes are you doing today, Darryl?
I was just about to look that up. Okay, we have Darkwing Duck, episode 26, Clone Wars, season 4, episode 4, Conan, season 2, episode 11, and Transformers G1, season 2, episode 10.
Awesome. Sounds good. It is. Let's see here now. That's going to be about
That'd
an
be,
hour and a half. 90
yeah,
minutes?
just about an hour and a half.
Okay, so anyone wants to? Yeah, as soon as you can, go ahead and drop that link in the stream, please. That way, since Resolute Germ can't tweet it out, the hell with it. We can do it for him.
Okay.
All right, now. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and open that link up. Here we go. Going to there now. And share it out. Facebook. All right. Share it on Facebook and TwitchBot. Go and got it. Anyone wants to share it out, please do, because President Germ is might have to set up a new Twitter or something. And I do want to take that off Top Chat. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Please join Resolute Germ in a little under an hour and a half. And we'll be watching those shows he mentioned before. It will be listed in the description. So please feel free to join us over there. And of course, join Bird at 3 p.m. Eastern for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I do want to thank everyone who's been in the chat and everyone who's been on the panel. It is always fun. Please do remember to like, share, and subscribe. You know, the old stuff people always tell you. So thank you very much. Have a great day.